And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host and author, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome back for the third time Dr. Ian K. Smith, here to give us the inside scoop on his latest book, Book 4 in the Ashe Cayne series, Eagle Rock. Dr. Ian, welcome back. Tell us about this book.
Sara, thanks for having me. I always love talking to you and to your fans. Listen, this book is just one of my favorites to write. It starts off right in the beginning. 77-year-old Elliott Kantor, a Chicago billionaire businessman, is found in his secret apartment near the north side of Chicago, tied up in a compromised position.
And a compromised outfit.
Yeah, and a compromised outfit. That's right. That's right. And the commander on the scene, Commander Bork, says to him, to the son, says, listen, there's only one guy in Chicago who can really do this efficiently, quietly, and without any restrictions. And that guy is Ashe Cayne. And so Ashe is woken up in the middle of the night. Rory commands him to come down and talk to the son, and the journey begins.
And the journey begins, and we have so much to talk about. I'm so excited to talk about all of the details. First, I just want to welcome everyone. We are broadcasting to both Facebook and YouTube, so no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. This is the right time. It is Mystery Monday, because Mondays can be murder. We're going to make them a little less painful, get your week off to a killer start. So if you've been here before, you know the drill, and if you're new, here's the drill. Every Monday, I give you my handpicked featured authors, and you get to ask them anything. So ask Ian about this detective character, Ashe Cayne. Ask him about book 4 to book 1, about his writing process. I know I want to get back into that, because last time you were on, Ian, we had such a good conversation about that. I want to talk about it again. Any questions that you have, get them going in the chat. As Harlan Coben himself said, Chicago PI Ashe Cayne is the perfect hero for our times. And I couldn't agree more. So let's start with your writing process, Dr. Ian, because I remember from one of our previous chats that you have a very disciplined process. Tell us about that again.
Yes. So I don't write by outline like a lot of authors. It just doesn't work for me. It's very restrictive, and it stifles my creative process. So I write my book in my head for about 2 to 3 months without writing anything down. I first see the characters. I see them. I'm a very visual writer, so I see the characters. I can hear the characters. I can smell the characters. I really get a feel for the characters. Then I start figuring out what is an opening, right? So I always believe that good books have really good openings, particularly in this genre. So what does my opening look like? Then when I have that kind of worked out, what does the middle look like? A big turn in the middle. And then what is the ending? And once I have those tent poles of the book, then I sit down and I start writing. And the writing to me at that point is much easier, because in my head, I've seen this like a film. I've seen how this thing plays out. And so it just is sit down and just go crazy on the keyboard.
I love that. But let me ask you, are you ever afraid that you're going to forget something in those 3 to 4 months of writing it in your head and not writing anything down? I'd be like, oh, that's a good one. Don't forget.
Yeah. So let me amend that statement. If something is really, really poignant or salient, and like you just said, really big, then in my phone, I will say, like, for example, I walk into, like, this just happened to me recently. I walked into a hotel room and it was the wrong room and it was occupied. Okay. What a great thing to happen, a situation in a murder mystery. And so I wrote that down real fast, so yeah, things that are really, really like, you cannot forget this. I will jot a note down, but definitely I don't do an outline.
That happened to me. I was the occupant of the hotel, and some guy walked into my room at 3 a.m. and scared the living bejesus out of me.
Oh, my goodness.
It was so scary. And he was totally just looking for his own room, but we both had the same key. We both had a key to the same room, and he was scared and I was scared.
Well, so can you imagine what can come of that? Like, there's so much, I could go 10 places with that. So I wrote it down. Like, I got to have that in one of my books, that happens, and that is an important thing that happens.
Oh my God.
It does happen. It happens to people.
It does happen. And people think it doesn't because they're like, oh, the computer key, does the key. It's like, no, it happens. It happens. Renee joining us from Facebook saying, hi, Sara and Dr. Ian from Southeast Florida. Hi, Renee. We're so glad you're safe after
Yes.
Milton swept
Yes.
through.
Yes.
Robin
Exactly.
also joining us from Facebook saying, hello, Sarah and Ian. Hi, Robin. So good to have you with us tonight. Renee wants to know, okay, let's talk about your creative process a little more. Do the characters ever change your story?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. Sometimes, particularly when you have recurring characters. So I always have new characters, but I have a core group of characters that come back all the time. And what happens is those characters have a life of their own, right? So I've now established how they talk, how they think, what their views are, their relationships. So sometimes I may have a plot idea, but the characters that are in that scene, it doesn't work because that's just not how they operate. And so the characters will change that plot point, or I'll have to sculpt it so it works with how the readers know this person, unless I'm trying to introduce something new to them. But in general, I'm faithful to the characters, right? And so it does happen, and which is fine. And by the way, that's why I don't use an outline, because I think when you write to an outline, you are so dialed in on sticking to what you've thought of that you don't allow for the fluidity of the creative process to go left and right unexpectedly.
Ooh, I like that. The fluidity of the creative process. I love that. I love that. Because sometimes when I'm reading a book, I will feel that inflexibility of the writer coming through where it doesn't feel like they were willing to go with the story. It feels like the story tried to go and they were like corralling it, and it feels there is a rigidity to it
Yes.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Robin saying that first sentence and paragraph is so important. Yes. So let's go back to that. So you're visualizing your story for 3 to 4 months. You're writing down the really important, really big parts. You visualized your opening. And what about that first sentence?
Let me tell you something. I took many, many years ago when I was living in New York, I took a writer's workshop. This is when I said, I'm going to be an author. And I had no formal training. So I took this one workshop up in Harlem in New York. And I remember several things about it, but the most important thing I remember, we did an exercise one night about opening a story. And I have stayed true to that. I believe, and when I'm looking at looking at books in a bookstore, does the first line and then does the first paragraph capture me? And so when I write mine, I keep that in mind. I don't have my book with me, you do, but what is the opening line for Eagle Rock?
I would love to read it aloud. Okay. Although I think it would be even better if people heard it in your voice. I would be so honored. I'm on the acknowledgments. What the hell are you doing? Is the opening line. And I just love that. The next line is, I was still fumbling to get the phone to my ear, but I knew right away it was Commander Rory Burke. His cantankerous growl was unmistakable, even as I was coming out of a deep sleep. But it's so great. When you open with, what the hell are you doing? It's like, I'm awake.
to me, I was always taught, starting off with something that's flowy and long, it's opinion, it's your style, but for me, it's right in it. Like, for example, I have an opening line for a book that I just started writing. So the next book is done, The Alderman, for next year. That's over. So Tracy said that line works for her.
We have Queen Tracy Clark, award-winning, Chicago-based, newly off her latest award, Tracy Clark, saying that opening line works for me.
I love that. But I listen to this one. I just wrote this down a couple days ago. I shot my husband is the opening line. I shot my husband.
Oh my God, I love it. That's your opening line of your next book?
Not the one after. And of course, knowing Ashe Cayne, who's very sarcastic, he has a very sarcastic comeback, to that. But she's basically saying, it goes on, she shot her husband, but she needs to hire him because she can't find the body. Right? Now that to me, I just love that. I mean, I don't mean to self-praise, but
I
I
love
think
it.
writers should like what they do. When I feel like listen, let me back up for a second. I am a very selfish writer. And let me tell you
Ooh.
why.
Oh, tell us why.
I like to write how I like to read. And I like fast plot twists, thinking, great characterizations, great scenes and settings. That's just how I like to read stuff. I like to get in. Henning Mankell, the great Swedish crime writer, is one of my favorites because he takes this little small town in Sweden and you feel like you are in these winters and the wind and the snow. It's wonderful. And so I like to read that way. And so when I'm writing and I feel like I've written a good line, I'll say to myself, that was good. All my lines are not great, but sometimes you feel like that's a good idea or that's a good line. And for me as a writer, because writing is a very solitary experience, you have to kind of pump yourself up and say, good job, way to go. It's not being cocky and arrogant. It's just saying you hit it this time.
You hit it this time.
Yeah.
Exactly, because you have to lean into those moments because there's so many other moments where that voice is like, this is crap, give up, do something else, go away.
Right. That's right.
Everyone is loving this conversation. Robin saying, I shot my husband. Well, that can go many different ways. Exactly. We're all already hooked. Renee saying, that is incredible. I love it. That is a good first sentence. Wow. Yes, exactly. I love all this. Shay with the hobby saying, I loved the Ancient Nine. Exactly. Yay, Shay, good to see you.
So it's so interesting.
Oh, wait, you're frozen, Ian. Hold on. You're frozen. He's coming back.
So I have 6 novels on my belt, 4 Ashe Cayne series. Eagle Rock is number 4, but they're all standalone, so you can read in any order. But it's interesting as an author, because I love feedback from my readers of them telling me what they like. Some people love The Unspoken, love Eagle Rock. The Ancient Nine, a book influencer down in Florida, says she was so blown away by the Ancient Nine that she unfortunately can't think of anything else other than the Ancient Nine. And as an author, I don't have a favorite book. I love them all for different reasons. But when Shay says, I love the Ancient Nine, even though we're talking about Eagle Rock, listen, they're all my babies. And the fact that you love any of them, I'm happy. So thank you for that.
Well, Shay has very good taste. Shay is an influencer on YouTube, and it's very good to have her here. John is joining us from Northeast Ohio. John, always good to have you with us. Shay is so glad she made it. Shay, we're glad you made it too. So good to have you here. Okay. Renee wants to know, do you dream about the characters?
It's interesting. So I was just on a flight an hour ago. And often I do a lot of thinking going into sleep, believe it or not. So I'm writing another book, which is a romance. Okay. Very different. I know.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But,
Who are you, Walter Mosley? Next thing you're teaching erotica master classes. you got a Walter Jr. here. Okay.
So I was in this group and I was talking to a book club and I just said to them, what do you want me to write? And they're like, Dr. Ian, can you write romance? And actually, I love romance, believe it or not. I love love stories. I love romance. And so I want to write a romance that has a mysterious bend to it, right? Like it's not straight hardcore mystery, but, it runs like a mystery. So it's moving, it's stuff happening. Anyway, so in my flight tonight, before I went to sleep, I love sleeping on planes. I always I try to go into my sleep thinking about the story. And often I will dream about something that was related to the story and will have something when I wake up. And so it's kind of one of my I don't always get it, but sometimes I get it. And also there's this phase before you go into deep sleep where you are still conscious of what you're thinking, but you're still sleeping and stuff happens. Like tonight, some stuff happened in there of what I want to do in the beginning of this book.
Oh my God, that's so cool. And you know what's really interesting is I was just talking about this with a neighbor of mine, and she teaches creativity at Harvard Business School. Mm-hmm. And she was saying that the 3 times that you are most likely to have creative ideas are right before you go to sleep, in the shower, and when you're driving. And that the reason that you have creative thinking at those times is because your lower brain, which is your logical brain, which is don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that, is engaged in something, whether you're driving the car, you're showering, or you're about to go to sleep. So this other part of your brain, which is your creative brain, can then be free to frolic. And that is why Einstein had all of his best ideas while he was working as a patent clerk working as a clerk at the patent office, because he would be filing, which is boring, but it would absorb him in the task. And then he would have all these creative, cool ideas. So you're living proof it's working.
So I got to tell you, driving is when I have like a drive that's like an hour or more, and it's open road, not in the city driving, but actually a nice open road if I'm going into the country. It is wonderful. In fact, I will say sometimes I'm not answering my phone. I'm not making any phone calls. I'm just going to be in the car, maybe a little background music playing, and just thinking and stuff. It's a wonderful, wonderful environment for me, for creation.
Was it always like that for you, or did you have to work to develop this practice?
No, I think it's always been like that. Like I love the environment. I really feed off of where I am. I'll never forget waiting. I was in London going to Wimbledon with my family, and we were waiting on the train because you always take the train to Wimbledon. And it's this crowded platform. And that crowded environment, it was such a great environment for me. I had a little piece of paper, folded, and I was just writing because I don't know. I love the environment. I love environments. It really, I write in a stack sometimes. I'll go to the college library and I'll go into the dark, quiet stacks and just write my fingers off. I love it.
I love that. I love that. Okay, we're still thinking about that first line. I shot my husband. It could go to it was an accident, or the bastard clearly deserved it.
Yeah,
we lost you on video, but we still hear you.
Sorry, I'll be coming back, but the second option is where it's going to head.
And is this is this Ashe Cayne 5, or this is another
6.
Series? Ashe Cayne
6.
Oh, Ashe Cayne 6. Oh my God. Oh, because you've already but
Ashe Cayne 5
we're talking tonight about Ashe Cayne 4. You've already submitted Ashe Cayne 5, and I shot my husband as Ashe Cayne 6.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I like to write. I wish my video would come back, but I like to write ahead. I got that reading. I was watching an interview with Robert Parker, B. Parker, the great writer who I loved so much. And one thing I found interesting was him saying how he is ahead in his books. And I was like, wow, what a great concept. It takes a lot of pressure off of me. And I feel like I have more time. When you're creating, you don't want to be under the gun when you're creating, right? You want to take time.
Under the gun is not a good place to be trying to create.
Yes. There's only one drawback about being ahead is that because I'm so far ahead, like I wrote Eagle Rock a while ago. The book I just handed in, which is going to be called The Alderman, I wrote that during COVID. So I got to go back and read it to familiarize myself with the characters and the plot points. But that's the only downside. I got to go back and refresh myself. But I love being ahead.
So how far ahead are you? Ashe Cayne 5 is already in, and now you're writing Ashe Cayne 6.
I'm writing 6 because I do my health book too, right? So
because you got the shred diet.
That's right. So I have a health book coming out in January, which is called Eat Your Age. That comes out in January 7th on Good Morning America. But then I've already actually finished the health book for 2027.
Oh my God. Wow, you really do write ahead.
Yeah, I do. Let me tell you something, Sarah. Sometimes I get into these fits of just writing where I'm I call it a zone. I just get into my zone and my tunnel. And so I wrote this 2027 book really quickly. And my wife was like, okay, so what are you gonna do next now? Can you relax now? And I'm just like, but it's not stressful to me. I was feeling it. I was zoning. It was great. Can you hear me, Sarah? I lost your
Oh,
audio.
wait, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. I'm saying, Ian, you're back.
Yeah.
Jane is saying she can't wait to start this series. Dr. Ian is a new author to me. Jane, I'm so glad you said that, because when I started this series 4.5 years ago, my goal is to connect readers to their favorite authors and introduce them to their next favorite authors. So here you go, your next favorite authors right over here. Shay is saying on it. Exactly. Margaret saying, OMG, Ian. I know he's writing 2 years ahead. It's incredible. I cannot do that. Margaret saying, on the other hand, Under the Gun is the only way that'll get me to do the business stuff like formatting. What about that, Ian? What about the business stuff?
So that's true. Like, some people really work better under pressure because it motivates them. I know a lot of people like that. For me, I can do it under pressure too, by the way. It's not that I can't do it. It's just that I feel like when I have time to do it, I feel like I write better. I just feel like the product is better. You know what I mean?
I'm not a pressure performer. I mean, I can do it, but it's not enjoyable. It's stressful. It doesn't feel good in my body or my brain. So I prefer to have that.
Agreed.
Oh my God. Tracy saying romance. Exactly. That caught me by surprise.
What does NEYRT mean?
I don't know.
Is that an acronym? Oh.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay.
Let us know.
Okay, yeah.
Shay saying the Ancient Nine was amazing. I read it for Black Weenathon and I was like, oh, I am a fan. Exactly. I love that, Shay. Yes. Oh, someone wants to know, are you writing romantasy?
So that's a great question, by the way. So I believe that there are two genres you really have to be well read in, and that would be fantasy and sci-fi.
Ooh,
and,
okay.
I think if you want to write those, you really need to know. I think they require, listen, all genres require a skill set, but like fantasy, for example, you have to learn how to build worlds. It's just a whole thing. And I have not read a lot of fantasy or a lot of sci-fi. Not that I don't like it. I just haven't read a lot of it. And so I think in order for me to be proficient at it, I need to read more of it. And so I just haven't. So maybe one day, but I do love romances. I watch them. I watch all these dating shows like Love is Blind and all this kind of stuff.
Oh my God, I watch it too.
Are you watching season 7?
You know I am. Of course I am.
What a mess. What a mess.
Hot mess.
This guy, Tyler, you heard about the whole stuff with him?
Yes, I did. Tyler,
okay, anyway.
Get yourself together.
That's right. Exactly.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes, I'm sorry, you guys. Dr. Ian is frozen, but that's okay because we can still hear him. Shay saying, you are inspiring me to step my game up. Me too, Shay. I feel energized. I feel inspired. I got to get going. Okay. What kind of doctor are you? What type of doctor are you, Dr. Ian?
Yes. So I am what's called a physiatrist, which is not a psychiatrist. But physiatry is rehabilitation medicine. So, for example, people who get injured, have traumatic brain injuries, sports injuries, stroke recovery. My line of work is helping people recover from injury, basically.
Oh, I love that.
I don't practice anymore, but that's what my specialty is.
Okay. What channel is Love is Blind on? Netflix?
Netflix, yes.
Renee wants to know, so do you feel we need to eat differently depending on age? Now we're talking about your January book, your health book. Yes. Could you tell us what age groups?
Yeah, absolutely.
That you break that down into?
Yeah, so I wish I could, I'm not frozen, I would show you the cover of it, but Eat Your Age takes every decade of your life from your 30s to 60s plus, and it gives you the top 10 nutrients for your decade, the top 10 medical tests you need to take, the medical numbers you need to know, like blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever it is, that's specific for your decade. Wow. It also tells you, which is a fun thing, 7 fitness tests. So there are tests to find out, and it goes according to your age and your gender. For example, I did something on Instagram today, the push-up test. And so for every decade, there is a certain number of push-ups you should be able to do. And it gives a chart, and it says, if you can do this many, it's excellent, very good, good, fair, needs improvement. It's so much fun. And so anyway, and there's also a 30-day customized meal plan for your decade, because what we need and can do in our 30s can sometimes be very different in our 50s and 60s. And so this book gives everyone that information based on their decade.
I love that. Yeah, the push-up test has me has me worried. I'm guessing I'm not doing enough unless one is enough for every particular.
But remember, but just so you know, they're modified push-ups, which means for women, you put your knee and your foot on the ground, so it's not the full push-up. That's the test is designed that way.
Okay. I feel like I want to get to the toe level.
Yeah.
Renee saying this sounds so interesting. Too many MDs don't know this. Exactly. We need that focus on more holistic health. I totally agree, Renee. So the health book is not out till January, but Ashe Cayne book 4 is out now, and you can order from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is Murder by the Book. And the cool thing is Dr. Ian was there in person just a few weeks ago, and that means we got signed books. Now, y'all know what I always say. Books make the best gift. Signed books make a better gift. So we have signed books available. Here is the link, whether you're watching with us on YouTube or Facebook. Here is that link to get your hands on Ashe Cayne book 4. That is Eagle Rock. And yes, I did customize my banner to match the cover of the book.
Yeah, I like it.
That is the level of detail that I am observing. But you can click this link no matter where you're watching from, and you can get signed copies. And that is just such a perfect gift. So you got to think ahead. The holidays are coming up. You got to think ahead, shop ahead, so that you're not stressed during the holiday season. And here is where you can knock some of that holiday shopping out. And then when January comes, you can get the health book and start your new year with a new you.
And by the way, and Sarah, let me say, if you get a copy of Eagle Rock, I will send you a copy of Eat Your Age. Actually, I'll do a 2 for yes.
So fun. Okay, you heard it here first. Send me or send Dr. Ian your receipt.
Yeah, I'll give you an email
for Eagle Rock. And then he will send you a copy of his health book. We're going to do a twofer. So this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, let me just say the email to send me to would be this. Yeah. Send it to Ashe Cayne Books, ASHE CAYNE Books, which is the lead character, Ashe Cayne, at gmail.com. Just send me your receipt. Say, Dr. Ian, I want a copy of Eat Your Age, and I will get it to you. I'm also doing a boot camp in January. And I'll let you join the boot camp for free also, virtual boot camp.
Oh my goodness. Okay, it just keeps getting better. So here's that email. I'm popping it up so that we can all see it together. It's Ashe Cayne Books. Here it is at gmail.com. And that Dr. Ian's going to send you a copy of Eat Your Age and give you free access to the boot camp. I mean, hello, it doesn't get any better than that. It just keeps getting better and better on Mavens. And here you go. Shay saying, that is so awesome. Robin saying, please come back in January, Dr. Ian, and for sure with the romance book. Okay, all of them. All of them. Exactly. We need to have more.
I feel bad you can't see me right now. What's happening?
I don't know. I think your Wi-Fi must be frozen. Renee saying, I'm adding Ashe Cayne's novels and the health books. Okay, and then email Dr. Ian, and then and then you're going to get the book, and then you're going to get the boot camp. It's going to be fabulous. How long is the boot camp, Dr. Ian?
So the boot camp is going to be 6 weeks, starting in January. So January 6th, we're going to start, and we're going to go for 6 weeks, and it's going to be a meal plan and everything online.
Okay, that sounds like the perfect deal. So again, I'm going to post the link to the book again. So here it is, Eagle Rock, book 4 in the Ashe Cayne series. You guys, it doesn't get any better than this. And this is the kind of magic we can make on Mystery and Thriller Mavens. So here's that link. Dr. Ian, I want to thank you for coming back. This is lucky number 3 to have you here with us. And thank you for being so energizing and so inspiring as you always are, and for offering us this awesome twofer with the boot camp thrown in. It just doesn't get any better than that. And thank you all for spending your Mystery Monday with us, and thank you for commenting. And even if you're not commenting, I still see you. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Shanquetta. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Jen, John, Kayla, Lena, Mark. I see you, Glenda. Thank you, Alan, Jane, Jean, John H. Annabelle, Anir. Oh my goodness. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. China, Trudy. Oh my goodness. Thank you, everybody. Alyssa, Barbara, John D, Melissa H, Jessica H. Oh my goodness. I can't get to everybody, but thank you so much. Thank you for everybody for watching. Thank you, Shay. Good to see you. So, yay, such a fan. And Dr. Ian, now apparently the audience has spoken. We need to have you back for the health book and the romance book and Ashe Cayne book 5 and all the books. So be sure to come back and hang out with us again.
Yeah, I would love to. Sorry about the video. I don't know what's happening, but you guys can also send me messages on Instagram at Dr. Ian Smith. Spell the doctor out. I-A-N Smith. I answer all my DMs. So thank you so much. I love being with you, Sarah, and I would definitely love to come back in January.
Yay. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to put Dr. Ian's Instagram in there just so everybody can say it, because you do need to spell it out. So here is that link as well. So give him some follow, give him some love. And if you have any questions, be sure to reach out. All right, y'all, that is a wrap. Dr. Ian, thank you so much. And y'all have a great night. Hope your week is off to a killer start. May the days and the pages fly by. See y'all next week.